Welcome back. What pillow should you use to sleep well? To burst your bubble, there is no perfect pillow. In fact, of all the thousands on the market, probably most of them are rubbish. However, there are some important things you can use to decide what pillow do you need for your type of sleep. Because each of us have different needs based on a few important features. The first is, how big are you? How tall are you? Especially how broad are you through here? How heavy are you? In combination with those things, what is your preferred sleep position, like I talked about in the previous video? And on top of that, what type of mattress do you have? Because a mattress that is hard compared to a mattress that is very supportive is also going to have a different pillow need depending on those other two aforementioned features. And so what you need to bear in mind, and I'm all prepared here, is that however you sleep and whatever pillow you use, what we want to make sure is that if you're on your side, that your spine is lined up. I'll flip it around so that if someone looked from behind, that you're straight, that you don't have a pillow that's too low. You're probably going to be able to sleep like that, but it won't be comfortable. Or is the pillow too high? And you're going to notice that super fast, and you're going to need to throw a pillow away if that's the case. So this is the first thing. If you're sleeping on your back, the type of pillow that you have doesn't want to be too high that it forces you up, because that's going to close off your airways. Sometimes you might be told not to use a pillow at all, depending on your underlying posture. And since most of us have a forward head posture, that means we are going to need some kind of pillow to help support our posture before we manage to get it through chiropractic back to a better positioning. And if you're sleeping on your front, you're not going to need much of a pillow, if one at all. It should be just a very thin one. Now, the reason for the pillow height issue is coming down to an issue about ligaments. So I've got this rubber band here. And think of ligaments. Ligaments attach bones to bones, and they're pretty much just elastic tissue. They're neutral in regards that they're not active. They don't pull you back, but like a rubber band, if they're stretched, they'll, under that tension, that pull things back, and that's where the stability comes in, especially when we're talking about your spine. Now, ligaments have a feature that's a little bit like a rubber band. As if I stretch this and held it for a length of time, it would lose its elasticity. Now, when that happens with ligaments, it's called creep. Now, creep within a ligament is also painful, which means that if your pillow is the wrong height and you're sleeping in a weird position, you might also get it on a plane trip after an hour sitting when your back is not well supported. The stretch into the ligaments can be responsible for neck pain, as we're talking about right now. So that's why your sleeping position is so important, not really what the pillow itself is made of. Now, I've brought a few samples here. So for example, this is memory foam. Now, memory foam is quite a funky product. You'll be familiar with how it holds its space, and it's very supportive. In that regard, it's great. It is for some people a bit too warm. One thing I don't like about it is made with petroleum product. And it also has a tendency to absorb water. So you're going to sweat overnight. So that may or may not be the best thing for you. But the principle of a memory foam, the right height, is not too bad. There is also, for example, latex rubber, which is a natural product. You can buy different qualities, of course. The more you put into them, buying it, usually the better quality. The nice thing is that it draws fluid away, so as you're sweating, it keeps your pillow much more healthier. Much reduced chance of dust mites accumulating in your pillow with this sort of thing. Definitely a good idea. Again, it's the height that is the issue. Now, in both of these types of pillows, on the market you'll see pillows that have a shaped form that in some way support the neck. Now, some videos I've watched have said, oh, that's the worst thing you need to do because it compromises your neck. Now, the reality is most of us, through our poor posture, have lost our curvature. So the curvature, instead of being a nice C shape, I'll show it in this photo right now, has become relative flat. So when we're lying, especially on our back, then a support into that C-shaped curve is not a bad thing. And it should also help with keeping our airways open. If you think about the positioning for resuscitation breath, it's in extension and the head tilted back. It's better for breathing. So bear that in mind. For me, I've tried it with these shaped pillows. It wasn't my thing. I do think it's a good idea, but I just can't sleep with it. What I've used for a long, long time, and I'm not being paid by anyone here, by the way, this is my idea, is this is a pillow from an American company. It's been called ChiroFlow. In Europe, it's called MediFlow. You could argue it's not so great because it's a polyester full, so it's a plastic if you like. However, what it has underneath it, it has a water bladder. And what you do is you fill the water bladder up with the amount of water that you need depending on those things I talked about earlier on. So a back sleeper, less water, side sleeper, more. Depending on the height that you need, more water or less water. Now, what are you thinking? Hang on, that's going to slosh around. Yes, of course it is, but that's the whole idea. So as you move, your head pressing into the middle of the pillow is going to help that water move around and support your neck. Now, I've used this pillow myself at least 15 years, if not longer, and I love it. I don't know how many I've used. I've used to sell them in practice in Sydney. I have recommended them, and they're very, very successful in that most people find them very, very comfortable. You'll find them online mostly at different price points. Mostly I've always been able to get them for around 35 euros a piece. So it's not a pillow sort that you see advertised really. However, I do recommend it to consider, and the great thing is it's not horrendously expensive. If perchance you don't like it, it doesn't feel like you've burned 200 euros on something. One more thing I want to touch about, there are all sorts of other pillows with different products around the market, with different types of beans or seeds and that sort of thing. Some of them you can heat. Now, I've seen also recommendations saying it's great to heat up your pillow. No, it's not, because your sleeping environment should be between 16 to about 20 degrees, maybe 19, 20 degrees. So if you've got a hot pillow, that's completely the opposite of what you actually need. And so it might be nice to lie on, but it's not going to help with your sleep quality. So when you see recommendations to do this to help you sleep better, it's not actually what you need. It might be nice if you've got some headache issues or some other muscle tension, for example, in your neck. But for the best sleep environment, like I talked about in one of the earlier videos, you don't want to be doing this. Any of the other type of pillows that you might know of on the market with different products, and as I said, there's a whole heap of them. Focus on not what it is, but what it's going to do for you. If it's the right height, supporting you in the right way to keep your spine in neutral, it should be the right pillow for you. As always, there's no simple answer to any of this because we all have slightly different needs, but the principles stay the same. I hope you found that interesting. Feel free to share the video, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.